¿qué tenemos? ¡No sale de allá! Hermano, no, fuera más peligroso, hermano. Por allá. Señores, al puerta 4. Por allá.
Aquí se cayeron varios edificios. Este se vino abajo.
So I'm sure by now the majority of us have seen what has happened in Venezuela and how they were hit with a double whammy of an earthquake. So, first of all, rest in peace to all the lives that were lost because of this situation. And let's all hope and pray that everything will be fine in Venezuela. People will be reunited with their families. Things will be better. Recovery teams will help the country get back to its stable lifestyle. And, as other countries help, things will be back to normal and things will be better. Now, with that being said, I didn't necessarily make this video to talk and cover the um, earthquake in Venezuela. I made this video because something that is already well known has occurred to me, but I think it needs to be reiterated in multiple facets because it just goes to show you that things can happen at any time in life. And what I really want to discuss in this video is unpredictability. Okay? How many how many people in Venezuela do you believe went to bed last night thinking that they weren't going to be struck by a tragedy the very next day? Right? I don't think any of the people in Venezuela could have predicted that they would have they would have two earthquakes back to back, right? The first one and then a second stronger one, right? To just basically destroy their entire country and infrastructure, right? I don't think anybody in Venezuela predicted that their lives would be drastically changed overnight, but that's exactly the point of this video is the fact that the world is unpredictable. The world is not stable. We live in perilous times right now. We live in unpredictable, perilous, and quite frankly, unstable times, right? We are living in times of great change. We are living in times where people don't know what they're doing. We are living in times where everybody is trying to make it, everybody is trying to have something to hold on to make it seem like they are progressing in life, right? And quite frank and kudos to you, right? If you found like a purpose in life, if you found something that gives you meaning in life, hey, good job, because you found something that the vast majority of people spend their whole lives looking for but don't ever find, right? So good job to you. But this situation, this natural disaster in Venezuela has shown not just me, but I think it's something, again, like I said, needs to be reiterated and repeated that life is unpredictable, right? You never know what's going to happen in life. You never know how your life can take a drastic 180 turn, right? And one day, you're partying it up with people. One day you're working on a project. One day, you go to work, everything's the same, and then the very next day, right, the entire infrastructure is lost, right? The entire, you know, the entire the entire world is looking at your country and just like, oh my gosh, like what happened, right? And it just goes to show you, right? It makes you think a lot. It makes you think about, that could have been like the United States. That could have been another country, right? That could have been somewhere affecting somebody and messed up their lives. That could have been anything, right? So the real question that you have to ask yourself. And the question that I'm asking you is, what are you doing to prepare for that instability? When that instability hits the fan, when that unstableness comes to you, are you going to be prepared? Are you satisfied with the life that you're currently living? I made a video a couple of years ago talking about, if you were to die today, if you were to get dragged and taken to jail today, if something were to happen to you today, would you be satisfied with the life that you've lived? Would your family be straight? Would you be able to sleep well at night knowing that you did everything you could in life? Would you be able to be proud of yourself at the end of the day? Because we all meet our maker, right? At some point in life, whether whatever time frame it is, everybody on this planet right now is going to meet their end, right? And a lot of people go to sleep not thinking about these things. A lot of people go to sleep thinking, "Oh, tomorrow's just going to be a normal day. Tomorrow's just going to be whatever, whatever. We're just not going to think about, things that are going to happen or things potentialities, right?" People don't think about that, but I'd like to believe that a decent amount of people do. I myself think about that. I think about, how can I be better, right? What can I do to prepare myself? What can I do to, make sure that my family, the people close to me, those that I care about, what can I do to make sure that if something were to happen to me, then I'll be able to go to sleep well. I'll be able to look back on my life and be like, you know what, I did everything I could, and I'm proud of myself, right? And it really is one of those things where unstableness is a rampant part of life. It's just a part of life, right? I mean, Venezuela has been up and down with their unstableness. I mean, quite frankly, the entire world, right? Like the United States, countries like the US, Venezuela, all these other countries are constantly in unpredictability, unstableness, right? Political unstableness, unpredictability, right? The climate, climate unpredictability, right? What goes on with other countries, other politics, things are always constantly changing, right? The only constant in this world is change, right? So you have to really look at that, and you have to prepare yourself and get all of your ducks in a row for when things hit the fan. Because when things hit the fan, I mean, think about it. Think about when COVID happened out of nowhere, right? Nobody was prepared for that. You had people running to the store, the grocery store, buying up all the food. Remember the toilet paper incident? Everybody bought all the toilet paper, and nobody was able to. No, people were giving out toilet paper like they were doing a drug deal, right? Remember that? Remember back when COVID happened, right? And I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you this because things are only going to get worse, right? Now, I know I talk a lot of trash about America. I talk, about how America is like this unstable country, and it's getting worse and worse. Now, I'm not taking my words back. I'm not taking that back, right? Because America is deteriorating. America is declining. But by far and large, America is one of the more stable countries for now. Okay, for now, America is one of the more stable countries in the world compared to other, the rest of the globe, right? You can still use the things and tools and currency in America to build your life, right? You can still do that. You still have time to use America to your advantage, right? But that time's running out. That's all I'm trying to say, is that time is running out, right? So people think that, oh yeah, you're anti-American, you don't care about America, you don't care about, if you want to leave America so badly, then just leave. Okay, I mean, I'm already planning on doing that, but I'm not sitting here trashing America because I want to. I'm saying what I have to say because it's the truth, right? You see all of the things happening. You see net negative migration. You see, foreigners, maybe now they're coming in and watching the World Cup and they're excited to be in America, but they're not going to stay here, right? You see political instability in the United States. You see, racism still rampant. I mean, that's like a global thing, right? But it's predominantly in the United States. You see all of these problems, in the United States, but by far and large, it's still a place where you have a chance to, you know, build some, you have a chance to build what you can in America And then if you want to leave, you can leave. You can still do all that, right? And so the point of this video is have a backup plan, build redundancy, right? Don't just put all of your eggs in one basket, right? Create something, right? Do something that will give you plans A, B, C, D, right? Because if you put all your eggs in one basket and you fail, then you have nothing left, right? Things hit the fan, you fail with plan A, what are you going to do? And quite frankly, some of you people might be like, you know what, I'm going in on all A. It's get it by any means necessary with my plan A. Okay, good on you. I hope you make it. I really do hope you make it, and I hope your plan A succeeds. But it's going to be difficult, right? I'm saying is it's going to be difficult, right? So you really ask yourself, like, what are you doing right now, right? What are you doing right now to prepare yourself, right? Are you looking at other places to live, right? Because there are other places where you can have a better, a better way to live, right? You can use the skills that you've learned here. You can use the passport that you have, the American passport that you have. You can use the American dollar here. You can go live in another country, right? You can do all of those things. And so unpredictability and unstableness is something that is always going to be a constant in life. Like I said, change is always constant. Change is the only constant. But that doesn't mean that you can't prepare, right? Prepare now so your future self will thank you later, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know how things may plan out. You never know. Like something could happen tomorrow, right? Yellowstone could erupt tomorrow, right? Or the San Andreas Fault could break off and cause the big one, right? They're always talking about the big one when it comes to, the earthquake that's going to happen in California. That could happen tomorrow. Now, obviously, I'm not someone who can predict the future, right? Nobody's going to tell you straightforward what's going to happen, right? I don't even think Nostradamus would be able to, you know, predict the future. The only thing I can do is give you guys warning signs, give you guys like tips and tricks of what I'm doing, right? What others are doing, what you see, like it's not just me, it's other people as well, right? You don't have to take what I have to say at face value, right? You can take it with a grain of salt if you want. All I'm doing is explaining to you what I think is the smartest move. And if you want to follow suit, then please feel free to do so. But, ask yourself, what are you doing? What are you doing to prepare yourself? What are you doing for a potential, another COVID, right? Are you actually working on your purpose? Are you actually making money? Are you getting your body right? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you planning things? Or are you just waiting for GTA 6 to come out? Are you just waiting for a new video game to come out? Are you just waiting for, a handout, right? Because I'm telling you right now, a handout's not coming. If you're just waiting, if you're just relying on others, relying on somebody to come fix your life, I don't know what to tell you, but you're just not gonna you're not gonna be able to make it. And there are so many other avenues, right? There are so many other avenues that you can achieve. There's so many other ways that you can fix your life right now, right? Go do a DNA test, right? Go do a DNA test on ancestry.com, right? Figure out where your parents' roots, right? Figure out where you come from. Figure out your bloodline, right? Get multiple passports. I'm working on my third passport right now. I got two passports already. I'm working on my third one, right? Figure out where you can go, right? Do some research. Figure out where it is you want to go. Figure out what kind of life you want to live. Because when things hit the fan, man, you know, it's gonna be too late by then, and time's running out. I think more and more people are starting to realize that you know unpredictability, unstableness is at an all-time high. You got people crashing out in their cars. You got people unable to solve everyday issues, right? Now is the time to do this, and I'll keep saying it until it hits somebody, and I'll keep saying it forever. I'll keep saying it forever until I'm here, right? You have to You have to live your life for yourself, right? Obviously, if you want to help somebody along the way, help them along the way, but nobody's going to care about your life more than you are. And that's something that I think most people don't understand, right? Most people are going to look at this situation of Venezuela, oh, prayers for Venezuela, and then go back to watching the World Cup, go back to playing their video games, go back to eating their junk food, when in reality, what they should be doing is, okay, we did not expect this or see this coming. And obviously, I get it, right? You don't see things like climate change or Mother Nature's disasters happening, but you can prepare yourself. You can prepare yourself. I mean, how many people in Venezuela now are probably, they lost everything. They probably lost everything. They don't have any money. They don't have any food. They have no electricity, right? How many of them, do you want that to happen to you? You don't want that. Nobody wants that to happen to them. So that's why I'm saying prepare now, right? It's not too late yet, but soon it will be. So prepare, awaken yourself. I'll see you guys in the next video.